we've honestly, and I know the film's running and everything, I'm going to be straight with this. I'm concerned that we've made the whole aspect of generational curses a monster. We're intimidated by it, threatened by it, and we give it a reason to hammer us. They're real, they're undeniable, and you can see them if you track certain lives and families and people, right? But like Todd said the other night, and it was very on, and I agree with it. He said, if you're struggling with the thought of generational curses, just change bloodlines. If one turns to righteousness, he's blessed with 1,000 generations. There's a place to take authority over things and believe the finished work of Christ and that the blood's enough. Sometimes we don't believe the blood's enough, and we lean on our experience and the reality of certain feelings and emotions rather than teach people the victory and faith. So then we live in certain fears. And we think here's my life, for instance. I don't know back before my granddad, but my granddad on my dad's side, and my dad was an alcoholic. My granddad died of cirrhosis. My dad had cirrhosis when I was 20. My dad is not an alcoholic anymore, and he doesn't have cirrhosis, and he knows the Lord. So that's a good story. But for the first 20-some years of my life, he was an alcoholic heavy. That means that I should be a product of something should influence me, there's the spirit tracking, and that I have this susceptibility and this curse over me. Man, I didn't know nothing about generational curses. I got sold out and surrendered to Jesus when I was 33, and to think that there's any power there is almost funny to me. In that sense, I am free. I'm not hurt by my dad. When you don't get over the past, when you let those things hurt you, like this young man come up about his mother, you want to let a generation. He was so profound last night. I don't even know if he knows the depth of what he was doing when he said, "You want me to show you how to bust a devil?" And he went and hugged his mother. That's exactly how you bust that thing. Because when you get hurt and influenced and hard by man's actions, then you allow the power of that sin to still have a voice in your life. And you invite yourself to the after effects of reaping and sowing. But when you cover with the multitude of love, and love takes no account of a suffered wrong, where can injustice, where can iniquity stick to? You become a Christian Teflon pad, and nothing can stick to you but Christ. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, if I'm sitting here hurt, and I'm beat up, and I'm letting my past identify me, you might be amazed how the susceptibility to alcohol starts coming into my life. And we're trying to pray against a generational curse instead of healing the heart and getting motives straight. Are you following me? We're going after a devil instead of fixing the person on the inside. So that's why we teach love, man. Nothing can touch love. Nothing. You're telling me now that I'm blessed and filled with the Spirit of the living God, and it's God's good pleasure to give me the kingdom, that I'm subject to some kind of curse. You have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. That is fear. That is not the doctrine of heaven. That is man's experience speaking and man's intellect. And it's not the wisdom of God. And I know it sounds presumptuous to talk that straight, but I'm talking straight. So what do I do if I find somebody and I see the generation curse? I teach them who they are. I teach them why this thing cannot have power. I don't just pray against the devil in their life, because they become more devil conscious. And then they're looking over their shoulder wondering if it worked and if he's coming back to get them. I teach them who they are and why they're free and the value of their life, and I separate them from the lie of the generations through understanding. And that is the power of God, because here's what makes you free. It's not prayer and a bottle of oil. It's truth. Listen to me, church. I feel real aggressive right now. This stuff comes on me. I don't even have, they turned it over to me, Tom, so. Listen. Truth makes you free. It's not a mist from heaven, and it's not just some goosebump, and it's not a rosy prayer. And thank God for ministry, but it's the ministry of the Spirit, and it's through truth that seals you in the victory. Come on, I could pray for you and give you peace, but if I don't deal with the reason you're afraid, something's going to shake in you within a week. That's why we teach the stuff we teach with passion. You see how I get? You see how I got the other night teaching and preaching? It comes on me. It's serious. It's the passionate heart cry of God. And you know what he's saying every time I get this way? Children, won't you just believe my word? Won't you see who you are because of who I am? I have raised my word above my name. Raise my word above how you feel and what you think. And let my word rule in your life, because the truth will make you free. Come on. Let me show you what that looks like. Duh. Yeah. Come on. We think it's some magical, mystical moment. He said, go into the nations and make what? Disciples. And in John 8, he defines a disciple. He says, if you continue in my word, He didn't say if you continue to attend church meetings. Come on. And he didn't say go make confessing Christians. He said go make disciples. And let me tell you what a disciple is. It's one that continues in my word. And if you continue in my word, you will know the truth. And the truth will make you free. Bye-bye generational curse. Bye-bye demonic warfare. Bye-bye every lie of the past. Bye-bye insecurity and uncertainty. Because he that the Son sets free, you better believe it is free. And there ain't no looking back. You see what's wrong with me? You know what's wrong with me? I believe what I'm telling you. And I'm going to be this way and even more intense every time you see me. Because it gets bigger and bigger and more alive. And the victory's in Christ. Come on, there's stuff all around us. And you don't even think about it. You think about him, and in him you walk in victory. Look, I'm talking in this mic. The devil cannot come and crush me right now. It's impossible. I'm in him. Are you following me? And wonder if you're just not afraid and you're still not arrogant. Wonder if confidence isn't arrogance. Wonder if confidence is knowing him. Wonder if I'm not popping off right now. Wonder if I actually know what I'm saying and it's true. Wonder if cynicism judges what I'm saying. I wonder if heaven understands my language. You following me? Fear is never God. And a lot of our doctrine is shrouded in fear. Be careful who touches you. Be careful who you hang around. Man, you better make sure you get clean every once in a while because the world tends to stain you up. You're supposed to dominate atmospheres. You're supposed to walk in the light. Darkness never had anything on light. Why do we believe it does? Are you following me? Come on, the only way it can get darker is somebody turns down light. Let's stop believing lies. Let's stop believing the devil has so much power. I understand he has power. He's not a toothless lion. But he thrives where there's a lack of understanding. All he can do is deceive us and find access into our lives through what we don't understand. He cannot walk into my life and just devastate me. It's impossible. He can't just knock me dead in that foyer. Ain't going to happen. Man, see, you ought to feel what I feel all through me when I talk like that. And some people get freaked out when you talk like that. Oh, my God. Because they think he's coming now. No, Jesus has already come. That's why I'm talking like that. You follow me? My issue isn't the devil. It's submitting to God. And when I've submitted to God, I've already resisted the devil. We have made a monster out of generational curses. We have given them power that they don't possess. And we've allowed them to thrive in our lives to the point where we'll be at an altar and we can't get a breakthrough. And we'll say, well, you have to be under some generational curse. Pray and ask and seek. And you'll leave the person believing they're cursed. I have talked to a lot of people that have had that kind of counsel. Don't you ever tell somebody they're cursed. You give somebody the answer. Amen? Some of these questions are not so small. That's why I take a while. Because, are you okay with that I took a while? Because they're not quick answers. Some of these questions are...
They're good questions.
They're good questions,
Yeah.
but they take some time.
They take some time.
And I understand generational curses, and they're real, and I've seen them in lives. I've seen them in families, and they're not a good thing. But they're taking advantage of the lack of righteousness. But if one turns... Why don't we ever preach that? If one turns to righteousness, he's blessed to 1,000 generations. Oops, there goes the curse. So do you see why Christians struggle with guilt, condemnation, shame? Because it keeps that curse alive and thriving in their lives. When you're turned to righteousness, you're not even thinking curse, man. You're blessed. You're a son. Your ships come in, buddy. You follow me? Let me tell you what guilt, condemnation, and shame are. They're the three major tolls of hell. Guilt says I'm not forgiven. Guilt says I'm not forgiven. Condemnation says my life is worthy of judgment. And shame says it's still who I am. And all three are anti-gospel, anti-Christ, and anti-truth. You have been changed by the finished work of Christ. You are not guilty. You are forgiven. You're not condemned. You're justified. And you're not ashamed. You're born again. And the just live by feelings or faith? Our feelings allow a lot of these things to still have power. Can't talk me out of it. They don't have power. We believe. You following me?